more advanced positions. All this is to help Verratti and Barella impact the game more than they did versus Spain through the middle of the park.
Harry Kane and Giorgio Chiellini and referee Bjorn Kuipers, who apart from being a top official around Europe, has managed to become a multi-millionaire running supermarkets, or owning them anyway, in the meantime. Gareth Southgate has raised some eyebrows by recalling Kieran Trippier in place of Bukayo Saka and changing his tactical setup. Harry Kane needs 2 goals to take the Golden Boot. Phil Foden is unfit.
7 players with a defensive mindset. Surprised a little bit that Gareth Southgate leaves Rice and Phillips alone to deal with the 3. I think there's a little flexibility with this tactically. Mount at times can come inside and help bottle up Jorginho in possession.
Gareth Southgate trying to exorcise the demons of 25 years ago when he missed the penalty that cost England a place in the Euro final. They're in this one under his guidance. Italy and England have met 4 times in major tournaments. Italy have come out on top every time so far, most recently in the sweltering desert city of Manaus in the Amazon jungle back in 2014, and both teams went out of the tournament despite that result. Stakes much higher now. Italy unbeaten in a national record 33 matches, 27 of which they've won. They've had a harder route to the final. They've had to take on Belgium and Spain, and both sets of players will take the knee to make the statement against all forms of racism and discrimination. And I have to say, it was good to see and report that the England fans this time did not boo the Italian anthem as Gareth Southgate had pleaded ahead of the game. And now here it is, the Euro 2020 final, a year late. England in all white tonight when they won the World Cup back in 1966, their only other major tournament final. They famously wore red. Italy in their past have been tournament masters, of course. This is their 10th big tournament final. Here's Harry Maguire for England. Thumping header. And there's a nervy touch. Pickford didn't give him an angle, and England give away, well, needlessly, a corner.
And the most difficult thing, I think, for Gareth Southgate in England today is that at times Roberto Mancini's done a wonderful job of just setting up his defensive shape and forcing teams into uncomfortable positions. And Harry Maguire, right off the bat, with a nervy touch in the back.
Lorenzo Insigne lines up the corner. An early set piece for Italy. And it was Maguire who got it away. England have only conceded once in the whole tournament. That was in the semi-final against Denmark. That great free kick by Mikael Damsgaard. Here's Kane's first involvement. Trippier. Play towards the back post and scores for England! An early strike! Luke Shaw! Wow! What a start for England at Wembley! It's his first ever England goal as well, and in a Euro final.
He's been simply fantastic throughout this entire tournament, creating chances going forward. But it's all about Harry Kane and where he operates in that pocket that then gets England out of pressure. But I love this from Trippier. to allow the overlapping run from Kyle Walker. No pressure on the ball whatsoever. A little dink over the top, and how about this? In a huge moment, 2 minutes in. How's your first touch, Luke Shaw? England with a dream start here at Wembley.
In off the post. Gareth Southgate, the calmest man, and that is often the case in Wembley. Everybody else going absolutely crazy, and Italy's usually very watertight defence just seemed to be asleep there. It's the fastest goal ever in a European Championship final. Chiellini with the header. Well, a lot of people were wondering if this might be a stalemate, tight, tense, nothing in it, going all the way to extra time, maybe penalties, maybe no goals. We've already had one. Barella. Mount tries to get inside, and Jorginho made sure his Chelsea teammate that he wasn't going anywhere.
England just got to be extremely careful when they turn over possession and win that ball in their defensive third. Italy's been the best team in pressuring in their attacking third. So immediately Jorginho, Barella, Verratti, all coming through the middle, putting pressure on Mason Mount. England's got to be very mindful of how quickly Italy want to get back into this game.
If Italy are going to win this European Championship, they'll certainly have to do it the hard way, playing at their opponent's home and from a goal behind in 3 minutes. From Luke Shaw, who hardly ever scores in his career. Having a golden tournament for him, the player who is dismissed as lazy and overweight and with not much of a football brain by a couple of his Manchester United managers in the past. So that's a comeback tale that is being told here. The good thing from Italy's point of view is they've got a long time to do something about it. Seeing that midfield battle already, aren't we? Mount and Jorginho play in the same Chelsea shirt. Bitter opponents on this occasion. Insigne to lay the ball inside. He's been lively all the way through the tournament. A couple of great goals as well. Insigne. This is Barella. Now Chiesa, who loves Wembley. A couple of goals in this stadium, in this tournament from him. Good ones too. Trippier won the header. Mount tries to have it on. The pace is frantic. Chiesa to pick it up. Looks for the free kick around the edge. Shaw pleads innocent, but the referee, Bjorn Kuipers, has given it.
Well, the game was going to be frantic anyways, but now you throw an early goal on top of it. And it's back and forth. A lot of 50-50 balls, and now you've got to react. Luke Shaw in a bad spot. Fouls Chiesa, but this is unknown territory for Italy. Everyone talked about the 33-game unbeaten streak. The last 18 games they've played, they've never been behind. So this is unknown territory for the Italian side under Roberto Mancini.
Yeah, 10 months that run since they've been behind in a game. That was against Bosnia and Herzegovina when Edin Dzeko scored. They're only behind 10 minutes. They've got a chance to bite back straight away here. It's on Emerson's left foot or Insigne's right, and it's not coming down quick enough to trouble Jordan Pickford.
Well, you can see Phillips laying on his back underneath the wall, but the wall doing a good job of just making it very difficult for Insigne to get it up and over it.
Now that wasn't in the script for Roberto Mancini, who's had bittersweet experiences of Wembley in the past. A great one the other night, winning the penalty shootout in that classic against Spain. Won and lost the FA Cup finals here. He's the Manchester City manager a decade or so back. Di Lorenzo into the channel for Chiesa. It's an extraordinary din going on around the stadium. You can hardly hear yourself think, Taylor, here. Nearly mass hysteria, I think you could describe it as.
It's throughout all of England, though. You've got this confluence of joy of coming out of the pandemic for 18 struggled months. And now all of a sudden, England's in the European Cup final for the first time in history. Everyone's losing their mind.
And ahead too, and a bit of sloppy play really there from Italy in the middle of the pitch, gives away the free kick. Is Kyle Walker, and speed has been essential in keeping England from conceding more than one goal. Towards Phillips, but Bonucci was there to win the header. There's Kane, who dropped deep to great effect in the last game. Lovely ball again. Trippier across the face of goal. Sterling was waiting and hoping in predatory fashion, as he's done to some effect in this tournament already.
Concerns about tactically what this would look like for England. Would it be too defensive? And so much of it is about where the positions are of Shaw and Trippier. And Trippier is doing a wonderful job of timing those runs forward, and it's allowed Kyle Walker at times to overlap and to create those overloads.
Insigne to lay it inside now. Verratti. Insigne's angled ball in, but Pickford will be able to throw that one. Ciro Immobile hasn't scored since the first couple of games in the tournament. He's overdue one, is one way of looking at that. England fans might remember they took the lead early in the semi-final against Croatia in the World Cup. Trippier scored from a free kick. Croatia came back to win 2-1 after extra time, so there's plenty of work ahead here. Kane sent tumbling. England want to take it quickly, but the referee isn't going to allow that.
The biggest difference you're going to see tonight between these two teams is Immobile you can't play off of. Harry Kane you can. He can drop into the pocket. He can drop into the holes. And then really get after Jorginho, pull him out of position, but then you can play into the feet. Surprise, no pressure whatsoever from Italy. Top of their 18 allows Trippier to deliver that ball. And what a fantastic strike for your first goal for England. Luke Shaw with a brilliant finish.
Di Lorenzo looked pretty shocked that Shaw had turned up there in space behind him. Caught cold, you could say, the Italians there. Is Kane again. He's picked a lovely ball up. Trippier again finding space. This time it's too long for Raheem Sterling. Di Lorenzo is conceding the corner.
Well, we saw it against Spain. Italy desperately missed Spinazzola because Emerson just really doesn't want to defend. And so what Gareth Southgate has done is now asked Emerson to make decisions. Do you pull to the ball? Do you put pressure on the ball? Then Di Lorenzo with a sloppy touch on the back post. But right now, Emerson is being forced into some difficult decisions defending, and he's not making the right one so far.
There might be another difficult moment coming up for Italy here. It's an England corner, but Donnarumma can claim that all right with his gigantic frame and tries to set Italy off with the Immobile looking to break into space. The referees right the way through the tournament have taken absolutely no nonsense from players going down too easily, and that's what the referee decided Immobile was doing there. Brilliant ball out of defence by Stones to Sterling. And Kieran Trippier is one of Gareth Southgate's favourite players. He calls him his warrior. It's not always in the team, but when he is, it's often to pretty good effect, and it has been already here. He set up that goal. Sure, lovely ball down the line. Mount. Another corner.
Luke Shaw is in the best form since breaking that leg in 2015. Because he's done a wonderful job of understanding Mount or Sterling when he's on that side. They've got those 2v1s, and instead of taking a touch, he lays it in behind first time. Dangerous corner coming up here for England.
Watch Harry Maguire, he's already scored direct from the set piece. Often wins these headers. Italy will have planned for that, and they'll defend it well. Trippier turning up on the left-hand side this time. Here's Mason Mount. Mount who gave his jersey to a little girl in the crowd. She's been hitting headlines ever since. Lovely gesture, one to cherish. Jorginho. Much goes through him, and a lot of debate about how he might be quelled in this final. They do have some marvellous technicians in that midfield, Italy. They're not 33 unbeaten for nothing. Lucky to lay it forward. It was a heavy touch which allowed Declan Rice in. Pretty much assure you, I can't give you first-hand evidence, that the motorways of England will be absolutely deserted at this moment. I think even people who didn't know football from a basketball are interested in this. Same in Italy, flags from all the windows, blaring car horns. This game is a religion in both countries. It's Verratti. Put a pressure on him as England trying to break up that passing rhythm that Italy can develop in the middle of the pitch. Jorginho spreading the play. And it's flagged for offside anyway, so no corner even for Italy, who've had a tough start to this game, no question.
Right, but because look at where the position is of Insigne coming through the middle, in behind Calvin Phillips, then Emerson can see it directly in front of him, and those are the combinations with the runs off the ball that they need a little bit more of, especially since that man tore his Achilles in that game against Belgium.
Yeah, he hobbled into Wembley but insisted on travelling with the team. They arrived at Luton yesterday, trained at Tottenham's training ground, which Harry Kane, of course, knows only too well. No spies allowed, of course. Shaw has had an absolutely wonderful tournament, which has been capped by the early goal here. He's come a long way since he used to do his homework in the back of the car, going down to train with Southampton as a lad. He never did score for them. Bonucci's long ball. Lovely ball, Bonucci to Insigne. That was laser guided, wasn't it? Stones with the header. Bonucci, combined age of him and Chiellini is 70, 219 caps between the pair of them. Those grizzled warriors at the heart of the Italian defence. But a defence which has been breached. High, not too handsome from Walker. Fans, 1,000 of them were allowed to bypass the COVID restrictions on condition they only spent 12 hours or so in England. A lot of UK-based Italians as well. Looks like there's about 8,000-9,000 supporting the Azzurri. What a game, what a night. This game as well has been a welcome diversion from lockdown and misery for two of the worst hit European nations in the pandemic. Declan Rice. Trippier lays it inside. Here's Kane. Wasn't going to give anything there, but he eventually does blow.
No, but England doing a very good job of getting Verratti and Jorginho to follow either Kane and Sterling into that hole. We saw it against Denmark in the semi-final, Ian, where Harry Kane can get into that hole. Then you've got the speed and pace around him to stretch the back line. But England doing a very good job of bypassing that initial Italian press with those balls into the feet to Sterling and Harry Kane.
Trippier. Fantastic ball to Shaw. Followed in by a very pumped up Kieran Trippier. Corrected that goal to 2 minutes now. Maguire, Shaw again for England, who've never lost a game in 90 minutes in 16 big tournament games played at Wembley. Because Germany did beat them on penalties in the Euro 1996. Player down in the
Jorginho,
yeah. Quite sure what the problem is there. That's a worry for Roberto Mancini. Some people wondering whether Jorginho might get the award if tonight went well for him as player of the tournament. He'd certainly be in the conversation, wouldn't he, so far?
It's a great view of just how England got out of that initial line of pressure into the feet of Harry Kane, switched the point of attack. It's just mind-boggling for me at how well this Italian defense has played throughout the entire tournament and throughout the 33 young game beaten streak. It's just, you cannot allow Trippier from 18 yards out to pick up his head halftime and deliver that ball into Luke Shaw.
There's David Beckham, one of 437 players who've played for England since 1966 without winning a major tournament. How bad is that for Jorginho? Some concern, of course. Italy did lose, as Taylor was telling you, Leonardo Spinazzola would be in the team of the tournament. I would think he'd been brilliant to that point. That is a big, big miss. It's good to see him here, but it'll be another 6-7 months, I would think, before he could play again or even think of it. And Jorginho, that doesn't look great, does it, for him? Do have for Ousmane Locatelli maybe to come on.
Remember in 16, Cristiano Ronaldo tried to carry on. He taped the knee, tried to carry on for about 4 or 5 minutes, but eventually couldn't continue. That doesn't look like Locatelli. That looks like Cristante.
Yeah. They're going to make a... maybe put him in the Roma player and can play at the back or in midfield, Cristante. Now then, here's Chiesa. Trying to cut that back into the path of Immobile, who made a good run in from the left-hand side. Good work again by Rice. Jorginho has come back on, but he's hobbling. I guess they're going to just give it a couple of minutes and see if he can run that off. Di Lorenzo won the header, but it's only fallen to Raheem Sterling for England. And he's danced into space there, looking for something around the edge of the box. No one really to play the 1-2 with. Not at that point, anyway. Here's Insigne. Immobile's up there with him. Chiesa's arriving, and it's not the right ball from Insigne. That was a good situation, which Italy rather wasted. Jorginho, I think, picked up the problem. Looks like he's going to be okay for the moment, anyway. How cool was he with that decisive penalty at the end against Spain the other night? Stroked it in as if he was out on the park playing with the kids. MLS on ESPN returns next weekend. Atlanta United facing New England Revolution, 5 o'clock Eastern on Saturday. Then on Sunday, Minnesota United against Seattle Sounders, 2 p.m. Eastern. It's all on the ESPN app as well. England have had a polished, professional, prepared look about them all the way through this tournament. You could say pragmatic as well. Italy have been exciting, entertaining, full of goals. Bonucci's not enough ball, is it, for Ciro Immobile? I think Roberto Mancini will be concerned with what he's seen so far from his team, but he believes in these players and he believes in the style that he's instilled into them. They've had a lot of triumphs down the years, Italy, but this would be one of the greatest to do it in England's backyards from behind. With a large part of this huge crowd against him. Immobile to lay it off to Chiesa. Verratti, Insigne from distance. He's not frightened to try his luck.
No, but it's a little bit better from Italy, and this is how they've gotten to the final. Just quick passing, two-touch passing, rotations, get into the holes. And they don't have an out-and-out goal scorer, but they've got 5 guys that have 2 goals each, and Insigne being one of those, and they've got the ability to unbalance you, but it's all about their tempo and the pace by which they keep possession, and we haven't seen too much of it 28 minutes in.
Walker again showing his speed to put the fire out there. Sure to chip one down the line, hoping that Mason Mount can make something of it. I have to say, an electric start by England. Now Italy just beginning to find a little more of a foothold.
Yeah, but where England have really done well early on here, Ian, is that they took a page out of Spain's book and they're pressing Italy a little bit further up the field.
And now here's Kane. Kane has scored in all the knockout stage games so far after drawing a blank in the group, and one or two pretty bad judges saying, well, should they leave him out the team? Don't think Gareth Southgate would have given that one a second thought. Here's Jorginho, who does seem to have put that knock behind him. Insigne around the corner. Thrown off by Immobile. Here's Di Lorenzo, who was switched to left back in the later stages against Spain. Did okay there as well as Italy took it to extra time and penalties. England free kick.
It's just been an uncomfortable start to this game for Di Lorenzo. The goal coming off his back shoulder, sloppy touches. Mason Mount getting in good spots to draw the free kick. And for the first time this tournament, we've seen a nervy start from Italy.
They've lost two fullbacks, haven't they, in the tournament? Florenzi injured in the first game. He'd probably be first choice. And Spinazzola, as we were mentioning. Sterling winning it back. Famously grew up around here and played for a team called Alpha and Omega after they'd discovered him playing in the street. Just thinking, Insigne's work rate is incredible, isn't it, really? This is Emerson, who can't get a kick for Chelsea, but the players ahead of him. Well, one of them anyway, Ben Chilwell, can't get a kick in this tournament at all. Hasn't played a single minute for England, and not even on the bench today. Chiellini, and Jorginho, Insigne. To attack from that position. England know about that. They've tried to close the door. Just one or two signs here of Italy beginning to establish a measure of midfield control. Barella scored a great goal against Belgium, didn't he? His first big tournament goal, the Interman. Getting the passing together now is Insigne. England happy to sit in just for the moment. Insigne and Verratti. Walker took too long. Italy pickpocketed the ball. Look to redesign the attack. Verratti. Insigne. Emerson, is he going to get there? No, he couldn't. Good kick. England keep the door shut. Look at the verbals going on between Trippier and Emerson there. That is not an invitation to any party coming up.
Oh, but Southgate knew exactly what Italy wanted to do, and it's go down the left and allow the freedom of movement with Insigne coming inside, and then Emerson trying to time those runs in behind. So what has he done? He's brought in Trippier to come in here, defend that, but then Kyle Walker is your pace in your cover, in your balance in behind that. So it's very difficult for Italy to get behind that back line. Yes, they've had a little bit of possession in between the midfield, but how many threatening diagonal runs have we seen? Very few.
Kane got the flick on to Sterling. Mount tried to find Sterling again. The idea was a good one, but this time the Italian defenders were there. England looking for those fast breaks and 1-2s around the edge of the box, very similar to the way Spain produced their goal against the Italians.
It is, but so much of it is Sterling and Mount running off of Harry Kane. They know when Harry Kane drops into the pocket, they've got to be that vertical threat in behind, and they're timing those runs perfectly.
There have only been 3 comeback wins in European Championship finals, by France in 2000, Germany here in 1996, and by the Soviet Union in the very first edition in 1960. Italy trying to add themselves to that list. Di Lorenzo to Barella, and now Chiesa. Handled a bit by Rice, for the referee let that go, and Chiesa was strong and goes on and fizzes a shot just wide. That was the best yet from the Azzurri.
It's just so direct and it's explosive. Yes, Declan Rice comes in here and you feel like Chiesa is in a controlled spot, but he's not. He blows right by you, but then it's definitive. Take on the defender and have a hit. And what has caught me by surprise throughout this entire tournament, and especially in this building, how composed he is in those critical moments. He has scored 2 fantastic goals here at Wembley.
Both in that goal as well at that end. And of course his dad, Enrico, scored in 1996 at Anfield when the tournament was held in England. They are the only father and son scorers in the history of the Euros. Maguire looking to drop one in behind for sure. It was a beautiful pass. Shaw goes on, across the face of goal, and Italy very, very stretched. Emerson it was, who was there with Trippier waiting behind him.
How about this ball from Harry Maguire over the top? It gets Luke Shaw 1v1 against Di Lorenzo. What a fantastic ball over the top to open up the game.
I think any of the great midfield playmakers would have been happy with that pass from Maguire.
Yeah, but what's amazing is 6 weeks recovery and he returns from the ankle to play at that level.
I think he's still feeling that a little bit, but he's played through the pain. Certainly in his first game back, Taylor, he was wincing. You could see that even in the warm-up, and needed a bit of reassurance from the physios that he was ready.
See, this is where Gareth Southgate has got tactics spot on here. This is exactly what Spain did to Italy in the semi-final. It frustrated them because you cannot play into Immobile up front. Bonucci's got the ability to play in there, but Immobile's got to hold possession there. It's a bad turnover. England going the other way.
It was really given away by Immobile with a wasteful luxury pass from him, really. Italy could have done without that. England who've been shut off from all the hype and hoopla in the country in St George's Park headquarters. And they were told by Gareth Southgate in a meeting after the semi-final, well, we've got this far, but which colour medal do you want? It's a good run from Emerson. Rice got there with the challenge, and in the end the free kick goes the way of England.
The England players begging the referee that should have been a yellow, but understanding cup final, studs weren't shown. I'm okay with no card there. It's just difficult to break down England right now. Single place they turn, unless they turn them over and try to get the back three into space. Rice and Phillips are sitting in front of the back three. It's almost impossible to get them in some bad spots.
Insidious ball from Ciro Immobile, but the flag is up anyway. And at the moment, it has to be said that Gareth Southgate and England are winning the tactical battle. Saw the cut of the grass, definitely offside. Just like a manicured lawn, the surface at Wembley. They were watering it before the game, goodness knows why, because we've had enough rain and more's on the way during the game, we're told. Put it this way, heat is not a problem. They won't need a water break here. No way out once we want to play this one to Di Lorenzo. Jorginho helps it on. Barella to Emerson. It's a nice build-up this time by Italy. Emerson, hurried cross really. Easily cleared by Calvin Phillips. I do love in this tournament the way the referees have just let the game go and had no time for any theatrics. Jorginho again. Inside by Di Lorenzo. Another cul-de-sac for Immobile.
You can see the frustration settle in here for Immobile because Jorginho giving him an absolute earful here, just sloppy touches, quick passes is exactly how Italy has gotten to the final. And yet there's been sloppy, methodical touches that has limited them the ability to break down England. Remember, it was that near post run early on this tournament where they scored a goal in a set piece.
Pickford came for that, then went back again. Defence dealt with it. The chess match goes on here. Emerson. Verratti. Emerson again. This time he elects to try to put a cross in, but Trippier made sure that cross never arrived. England with that early goal, but remember they also had another early goal in the Euro 96 semi. Alan Shearer scored very quickly. Germany tied it up at one apiece, and Germany won the penalty shootout. See that great football brain ticking, can't you? Of Roberto Mancini. He's a very good player. He has Gianluca Vialli, his old Sampdoria strike partner, with him on the team. Kane. Good ball to Mount. Kane again. Sterling going down as Di Lorenzo challenged him on the edge of the box, but the referee said nothing doing there. Morella wants a handball. The referee says no to that as well. It's a strong run here by Declan Rice. Couldn't get the pass right to Raheem Sterling. And once again, we've seen that signal right the way through from this referee. Get up and get on with it. Going to give a lot of tributes, I think, to Roberto Rossetti, the referee supremo for this tournament. They thought long and hard how they're going to ref it, and they've won a lot of plaudits doing so. Insigne here. Trippier and Walker over there trying to block his path. Emerson can bring it inside here. Didn't get the shot away because Stone's got a foot in. Italy tapping on the door, but not just getting close to knocking it down yet. Need to get a bit extra tempo into these attacks, Italy. Insigne did well to pull that out of the sky. Very difficult, that pulling the ball down when it's coming over your shoulder. Four minutes of added time. We'll get the comments of two great players, Steve McManaman and Alessandro Del Piero, at half-time for you, so don't miss that. I think Gareth Southgate, if England hold on and win this, he's due a knighthood at least. He might even become Prime Minister. Insigne. Does look the danger man for Italy if they can get him into the game a little more. Di Lorenzo's going to get the shot in. This time Immobile's shot is blocked. Jorginho Verratti on the turn, didn't get any juice into it.
Yeah, but this may be the recipe for Italy to get a little bit more rhythm going forward, as Di Lorenzo maybe providing an option in wide areas, providing that support so then Chiesa can come inside. And then there's another opportunity to deliver a ball in. Good ball in from Di Lorenzo.
Again, powerful play from Rice, who's been a standout player in what is his first major tournament. The young West Ham United player. West Ham fans, of course, always joke that it was they who won the World Cup for England, because all four of the goals were scored by West Ham players in 1966. Trying to tiptoe his way through. Deflection on Insigne's pass makes it easy for Manchester City's John Stones. Calvin Phillips of Leeds United. Goes to Harry Maguire of Manchester United. Shaw, clever ball. Mount, Sterling, they changed the pace of the attack, couldn't get it through to Kane. Barella. Deft touch, wasn't it, that by Insigne? Emerson kept it alive. There's the little Napoli Wizard Insigne again. The England fans want the whistle for half-time, I think. Long-range effort from Bonucci. Has only scored 7 in his long Italian career. His half-time tweaks will be interesting, won't they?
Yeah, because he's going to have to find a way to unlock this back five of England. I mean, this first half embodies the entire tournament for England. 1 shot, 1 goal. And yet they've been very difficult to break down. And while Gareth Southgate has been heavily criticized, and I think to a certain extent, rightfully so, it's been effective. Italy may have 6 shots on goal, but Ian, how many of them were real testing? So Mancini's got to find a way to get them going in the final third, and that may be going 2-3 in the back.
Yep, that's coming up. Those half-time team talks for England remain ahead. Luke Shaw with the fastest goal ever scored in a European Championship final. His first goal for England, who lead by 1-0 at half-time here in this big final against Italy. Let's hand it back now to Reece.
Thank you, Ian. And that Luke Shaw goal comes one day before his 26th birthday. Whether that birthday will be a most happy occasion depends on what happens in the next 45. Glad to have you with us here in the studio. Reece Davis along with Steve McManaman and Alessandro Del Piero. Alessandro, what did you think of what you saw in the first half?
Well, the first minute is killing us, in terms of energy, in terms of mentally and emotional. But Italy came back a little bit slow, but came back a little bit. They need to find a way to shoot on goal.
Yeah, England's have been excellent, certainly in the first 30 minutes, full of energy, got the goal. They're going to be difficult to break down now, England. We can see that. But Italy are getting back into the game. They've dominated possession in that first half.
A quick goal that Ian talked about, we will show you, we'll break it down, and here's the reaction to it in London. It didn't take long. They've been really partying all morning, and it didn't take long to raise it to a different level. Once Luke Shaw got on the board and put England up 1-0, Manchester also a little rowdy.
This is who we are. This is what we signed up for. I'm getting goosebumps right now. Bazinga! Are you like retired from rap or something and nobody told you?
There can only be one supreme leader.
Something weird is going on and I want to know what it is.
It's a completely different episode every time. Different cast, different everything.
Somewhere inside of him is the answer to how this all happened and how we fix it.
You're good thieves. Best in town.
Thank you.
It is a small town.
You've heard all the stories about what happened here, right?
Yeah, like Amityville Horror on crystal meth.
Okay, at AT&T, everyone gets our best deals on all smartphones. Let me break it down. You got your new customers. They get our best deals. You got your existing customers. They also get our best deals. Everyone gets the deals. Questions?
Got it. But why did you use a permanent marker?
Because I want to make sure you remember. I'm going to get a new whiteboard.
It's not complicated. Only AT&T gives everyone our best deals on every smartphone, like the Samsung Galaxy S21 5.
Oh, man. All out of bourbon. Looks like one of us is going to have to go to the store.
Or we can get drinks delivered fast with Drizzly. Drizzly makes it easy to shop a huge selection of beer, wine, and liquor from wherever I am. I just open the app, find what I want, and it's at my door in under 60 minutes. Plus, Drizzly lets me shop from multiple stores in my area and compare prices on thousands of products.
Drizzly.
Ding dong, Drizzly.
You need an Ecolab Scientific Clean here. And you need it here.
and here. Which is why the scientific expertise that helps operating rooms stay clean is now helping the places you go every day, too. Seek a commitment to clean. Look for the Ecolab Science Certified seal.
Play towards the back post and Shaw scores for England! An early strike! Luke Shaw! What a start for England at Wembley!
Not that there's ever a bad time for the score of the first goal for your country. That was particularly good for Luke Shaw. As you see, they're bringing out the trophy. That is what Italy and England are playing for, and it really didn't take long for England to strike. Now, Luke Shaw first does a good job keeping it in play. Harry Kane to Kieran Trippier, who's into the lineup. One of the changes, the only change from the semifinal to this. Luke Shaw raising his hand. Get it here. Put it there. Happy birthday to me. A day early. What happened here?
Well, it happened that England find Kane in that position that is the one that can kill Italy, and then they attack very, very well the goal area with numbers. You see Kane coming and show why that he made an incredible shot, by the way, incredible shot.
We mentioned in the pregame that both sides have been more productive in terms of big chances and score in open play, in transition, much like the one Chiesa had here.
Yeah, he looked really dangerous, actually, Chiesa. The more the first half went on, the more dominant Italy started to become, as you can see there from the possession stats.
England ahead 1-0. We are at halftime. Teams to lead at the half in the Euro final have won 8 of the 10 times. The only loss, Yugoslavia to the Soviet Union in the first Euro in 1960. So, break down what happened on that first goal for us, Matt.
Well, there was a collection of errors, and maybe because it was the start of the game, maybe because people are a little bit nervous, Reece, but once Luke Shaw breaks off, then that's when Verratti tries to close down, but he probably should have just stayed with Harry Kane, and then Harry Kane, when he just received the ball here, look at that, Verratti's already gone in there, and he can't catch him. Jorginho's deep, so he comes forward, space to Kieran Trippier out wide, Emerson's on the half turn trying to get back in position. And then you see Luke Shaw at the back just in acres of space, glorious isolation. But as what Ali said, what a finish this is. Just nice flat with his laces. Just make sure he gets really good connection on it. And it's nice and accurate. Really difficult task, but he did it brilliantly well.
Unfortunately, yes. It was a great goal, a great attack of the goal area from England. Italy probably makes 2 or 3 mistakes. And yeah, I believe that the emotion of the first minutes, the force and the strength of Wembley, and because England attacked with numbers, a lot of them. So, and after that, Italy tried to come back with more brain. Let's see. They need a lot in the second half to be patient to find the right solution.
England, of course, going for its first major championship, well documented since 1966 for all the titles. The Italians have won only one of them, been the European Championship. That was in 1968. Now, look at the scene at Wembley. They have confirmed that there have been fans that have gotten inside that didn't necessarily have the tickets, more than 65K in there.
Thinking I can make as many songs out of late when I haven't met her, but she on the head on my cerebellum. Thinking too hard, but I really wanna live. I can make as many songs out of late when I haven't met her, but she on the head on my cerebellum.
Dearest Smoke Shacks, defenders of the dry rub, thank you for giving your all to a 20-pound hunk of brisket. Whatever you serve, we'll proudly deliver.
I'm 53, but in my mind, I'm still 35. That's why I take Osteo Biflex, to keep me moving the way I was made to. It nourishes and strengthens my joints for the long term.
Osteo Biflex, plus vitamin D for immune support.
All right, guys, no insurance talk on beach day.
I'm down.
Yes, please.
Don't get me wrong, I love my RV, but insuring it is such a hassle.
Same with my boat. The insurance bills are through the roof.
Be cool.
I wish I could group my insurance stuff. The house, the car, the RV.
Like a cluster. An insurance cluster.
Yeah, I doubt that exists.
The bundle! It's a bundle and it saves you money! Hi, I'm Will from Progressive and I couldn't help it over here. Super fun beach day, everybody.
What do you want from me?
A deeper understanding of the fearsome god of mischief.
What makes Loki tick?
Hey. Bye. Come on. What did you expect?
Now streaming only on Disney Plus, and upgrade to the Disney Bundle for even more.
Experience hybrid performance that takes you further at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event.
Get 0.9% APR financing on all 2021 Lexus hybrid models.
Experience amazing.
After being locked in that vault for years, we've finally done it. Dr. Pepper, 0 sugar. Ralph?
So is this why you never texted back?
Yes, that's why.
I would have understood. Oh, it's perfect.
I know. I made it.
We made it.
We made it.
She made it.
Group project.
She made it. Is this the guy?
The zero you deserve is finally here.
Hey, it's me, your skin. Some cleansers get us clean, but take my moisture. CeraVe cleansers help me maintain my moisture balance with hyaluronic acid plus 3 essential ceramides to help restore my natural barrier. So we're CeraVe clean. CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser.
Teams to score first in the Euro final, 11, 3, and 2 all time. What do you expect in the second half? What adjustments need to be made?
I mean, I'm expecting a little bit more courage and tranquility from Italy side, because you can see that the players are a little bit nervous, a little bit too contract. They don't expect themselves quite well. The only guy that is out of this picture is Chiesa, is the most dangerous by the way. So that's what Italy needs.
Yeah, and as for England, I just don't want them to sit back, play like they did in the first 30 minutes. You don't want to just defend for the whole of the second half, because that could be dangerous.
No England side has ever scored more goals in the Euro. That 11th goal, the first of this match and the first of Luke Shaw's international career, broke the record. Will it be enough? Will they need another? Does Italy have a rally? Answers are coming inside.
Impatience is a virtue. When you know what you want, waiting isn't an option. New Balance. We got now.
PNC Bank believes that if a pair of goggles can help your backhand get better, then your bank should help you budget even better. Virtual Wallet is so much more than a checking account. Its low cash mode feature gives you at least 24 hours of extra time to help you avoid an overdraft fee.
You see that?
Virtual Wallet with low cash mode from PNC Bank. One way we're making a difference.
For 600 years, our land brought peace to the world. Alongside our allies, the Joes, join us to stop Cobra.
When do I start?
We're going to start a war.
This isn't my fight.
This is your destiny.
To be immunocompromised is difficult. You lose so much.
It's just really heartbreaking to see everyone getting back to normal, but he's still isolated.
You ready to try this out?
I'm ready.
I like this. It's so cool.
Meet Self, the app for you to build credit and build savings so you can build your dreams. Build credit, build savings, build your dreams. Get Self.
Retailers.
"45 minutes and perhaps a little change separating one side from glory. England with a 1-0 lead on Italy. Second half now from Wembley. Taylor Twellman and Ian Dahl. Ian?
Thank you, Reese. Italy have not won after conceding the first goal in any of their 10 major finals since the 1934 World Cup final when they beat what was then Czechoslovakia, coming from behind. So it's not an easy thing to do generally in this game, but we've seen 1,000 twists and turns along the way covering this sport over the years, Taylor, so it'll be interesting to see how Italy play this a little differently in this second half. No personnel changes that we can see.
No, but you wonder if there may be a little bit of a tactical switch and push Emerson as far up the field as you can and just allow Insigne to go find the game. They've got to find a way to get in behind that back five of England, which was virtually impossible in the first 45.
England kick off the second half in their all-white outfit. Straight away the ball is aimed towards Harry Kane, whose picture adorns most newspaper front pages this morning. He can overtake Cristiano Ronaldo and win the Golden Boot if he scores a couple of goals in this game. That's a pretty big if, especially with only half the match remaining. England's goal from Luke Shaw, who only scored once all season for Manchester United. That was in the Manchester derby, though. A great goal against Manchester City. Maguire takes no chances. Di Lorenzo looking to get the cross in. We're told the crowd was going to be about 60,000. It looks more than that, to be honest with you. The place is throbbing and rocking, just as many living rooms, fan zones all across the country, even on a Sunday night in England, will be doing. The Queen has sent a good luck message to the England players as well. Prince William is here, and son George as well. And that's the first yellow card of the proceedings. Barella is the player who goes in the book. To hit it long towards Shaw, who's pushed forward at every opportunity and obviously to some effect. Here's Shaw again. Good ball inside. Sterling here, breaking into the gap and goes down in the penalty area. The referee's not going to give this one. Sterling is furious. He pumped the turf with his fist. Well, he got the controversial one against Denmark. The Danes are still arguing about that. And this time, another Dutch referee, Bjorn Kuipers, was not giving it. He might get the views of Mark Clattenburg on that. in a moment, the man who refereed the last Euro final in 2016. Away by Pickford and out of touch. Well, what about that, Mark Clattenburg? England and Sterling thought they should have had a penalty.
He's really not going to get a gift there. There is a slight contact on the arm of Sterling and he just throws himself down. He's got absolutely no chance to get on to the end of it because the goalkeeper will get there first.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, looked the right decision, didn't it? No penalty. Di Lorenzo. And Chiellini. Not sure Jordi Alba appreciated his jokey antics ahead of the penalty shootout the other night, the bear hug. Chiellini seemed to think it was all great fun, and it turned out in the end that penalty shootout was great fun for Italy. Can they find a way back into this? Insigne, yeah, it's getting the free kick here on the edge of the box.
Yeah, but this is much better from Italy because their spacing and balance is set up better. So now Insigne is off the right shoulder of Philip. Sterling has to come in a little bit late and recover. And now you've got yourself a dangerous free kick. The spacing and balance was much better than we saw throughout the entire first 45.
Danger here for England and hope for Italy.
It's a little bit closer than when Damsgaard scored for Denmark, but remember, this is where at times I feel like Jordan Pickford can be a little jumpy, and so he's got to trust his wall from this angle and believe that his wall can cover that half of the goal.
It's Insigne! And it was dipping, but it wasn't dipping quick enough. Some people can't bear to watch.
Yeah, but see, that's exactly what Insigne is thinking about. And look at Jordan Pickford in a much better position than he was against Denmark in the semi-final. Trust your wall, and if the player gets it up over the wall, you tip your cap. But that's much better from England defending that set piece.
Insigne did score here at Wembley the last time Italy played England in an international. A 1-1 draw, late equaliser from him from the spot. Jamie Vardy was the England goal scorer on that occasion. Has opted out of playing international football these days, otherwise might have made the squad. All the time it's like this, 1-0. This is a nervy nail-biter for both sets of supporters, and for Gareth Southgate as well, who wasn't sure he really wanted the job when it first became available after a newspaper sting saw the end of Sam Allardyce. Another strong piece of play by Rice, and Kane can't find a way through. Off goes the speedy Chiesa. Looking to find Insigne, but Kyle Walker was coolness personified. Change coming up here. Brian Cristante of Roma. I'll get to that in a moment, but let's watch Chiellini here. Immobile. Substitutes have went to some effect for Italy in this time, and a couple of them have scored twice. Is Insigne to dart inside and let go with the right foot. Seeing that, England knew it was coming. He couldn't execute it that time. So here comes that change. as well. Seemed to be a bit of slowness getting that electronic board ready. Picked up again by Rice. Luke Shaw having a stormer on that side. He's had to take jibes about his weight in the past, but there's no doubt about his fitness and speed in this tournament. Barella, who's been yellow carded, would have been part of the thinking, wouldn't it, Taylor, for taking him off and putting Cristante in there.
Yeah, but it also allows Verratti to take a little bit more of an advanced position. But this is the more interesting move. Immobile coming off, Berardi coming in. So now you have free-flowing front three. Immobile is an out-and-out number 9. He's going to operate between the 18s. But now the front three, there's a little bit more flexibility and mobility to it to maybe ask some questions of this back five of England.
Berardi's interesting. He started the tournament. Bonucci on Sterling. Yellow for the Italian, who is breaking a record tonight with his 18th Euro appearance for Italy. He's only ever played once in the World Cup, remarkably. Yellow card for him. Attacking the end where the noisiest of their fans are gathered. Just a little problem with the sound system for referee Bjorn Kuipers. Shaw's delivery, Maguire winning the header again, and it wasn't really the finishing header he was looking for.
No, but England led this entire European Championship creating chances off of set pieces. And a lot of that has been off the delivery from Luke Shaw.
Jorginho. Insigne's come a bit more central after those substitutions, and Chiesa here for the moment out on the left-hand side, seeing if that can make a difference. Looking for the cross at Insigne. Can he find his feet here? Got a shot away. Pickford getting his gloves to it. Better from Italy. Maybe a new set of problems for England's defence to solve after those switches by Roberto Mancini. Verratti. Got a bit of a run-in with today's referee in the Champions League when Paris Saint-Germain played Manchester City. He accused Kuipers of swearing at him.
But now this is a little bit more difficult to defend because you've got three players that in 1v1 situations can break you down. Immobile was very predictable. Now you've got Berardi, Chiesa, Insigne, and then Verratti coming in behind. So now this is a different test for the three center-backs of England. And where they've been fantastic tonight is Rice and Phillips having a real good understanding when one pushes forward, the other sits in. So there's always that little protection in front of John Stones.
Can Italy find the combination to the safe? To sit in and look for fast breaks. Jorginho just about kept in play. Berardi was lively when he came on against Spain. was a starter ahead of Chiesa at the start of the tournament for Italy. He's never going to forget this night as long as he lives.
He looked like you in 1966.
Maybe. The tickets on that occasion cost the equivalent of $5. Same pattern.
Yeah, but where Italy have to be very, very careful here is when this ball turns over, where's Raheem Sterling on the counter?
Jorginho. Di Lorenzo to stand it up. Free kick England.
The biggest concern coming into this tournament for Roberto Mancini is they don't have an out-and-out goal scorer, a guy they can rely on like a Harry Kane, like a Romelu Lukaku. But I like what Roberto Mancini has done here because you know that England are going to sit on top of that 18 with their 5 defenders and the 2 defensive midfielders in front of it. And so now you've got to get some fluidity and some runs to try to open them up and pull them out of position.
Whether Roberto Mancini might go to Manuel Locatelli, who scored a couple of goals and looked pretty good. Seemed unlucky to lose his place. He remains on the bench for a moment as Ross goes on another of those driving runs at the heart of the Italian defence. Scoring first has won in each of the last 4 Euro finals. Remember, this is the first time England have even made the final. It is over half a century since Italy won this thing, though, despite their World Cup successes along the way. Back in 1968, when Luigi Riva and Pietro Anastasi got the goals against Yugoslavia in a replay. It was at home in Rome. Here's Chiesa. It's a great run. Can he find it? Half-yard pick, a great stop. But Chiesa does look a menace, and he very, very nearly found the answer for Italy there. Insigne this time. Looks like England, Taylor, are backing themselves to sit in there and keep Italy out with this 1-goal lead. But what a stop this is.
What a fantastic save this is from Jordan Pickford. And Chiesa just off-balances you as a defender with his quick movement, just very direct. He did everything right. Big save from Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, it was absolutely massive from him. He had a bit of criticism in the last game for looking a bit nervy in the first half, but generally he's never really let England down, and he certainly didn't there. Corner here for England. And those scenes behind the players, I think, require no caption. Going through that old World Cup routine again here. England from the corner. Everybody spread eagles, and Need the Italians to try to pick the players up. Goes a long way and Stones with the header, which is tipped over the bar by Donnarumma.
Well, the England attacking players having a ton of momentum there with that zonal marking from Italy. Donnarumma had to be very careful with that header. Great ball in from Trippier.
England are winning these headers from these set pieces. Here comes another one. This time, Bonucci can power it away. Di Lorenzo winning the header amid what can only be described, I think, really as rising tension at Wembley. And I'm sure around the nations in England and Italy. Fourth Euro final this for Italy. They've won that one in 1968, lost the last couple that they've been involved in. Shaw looking to drop that ball in behind for Mason Mount. It's a favourite ploy, that of England, that particular channel, that inside left channel, if you like. Marco Verratti. Now Emerson. Verratti. The point has rather been laboured, but it is worth repeating, I think. They really do miss Spinazzola down that left-hand side. Cristante. Italy trying to subject England to death by 1,000 passes, but England will be happy enough as all the time the ball is out here.
Yeah, but look how much further up the field Chiellini is.
Chiesa's ball in, and Maguire with a, well, it had to be a contortionist really to get that away.
Chiellini pushing further up the field, that drags Declan Rice out of position and allows Chiesa then to cut inside and deliver a dangerous ball in front of Jordan Pickford. Good defending from Maguire.
There's something coming for Italy. Here comes the corner. It's flipped on, bouncing around dangerously, and scrambled in as well. And it's Leonardo Bonucci who's got the vital touch to put Italy level. They've been knocking on the door. Now they've slipped it open.
Momentum's been on their side at the start of this second half, and a lot of it is Mancini tactically switching, pushing numbers forward a little bit more, then also making a couple changes. Set pieces, Jordan Pickford can't get a hand on it here inside the post. And the 34-year-old Leonardo Bonucci in the right spot at the right time. Mancini in Italy back in this here at Wembley.
Look at those celebrations. Pickford's face tells a story. That face tells a story as well. Italy are level. How did England react to that? They've been rather sitting on the lead. Back by Chiellini. Bonucci, by the way, and Chiellini both played in the 2012 final 9 years ago when they suffered that huge defeat, 4-0 by Spain. Chiellini had to go off after 20 minutes of that one. And Italy will believe now they can go on and win this, because here's Emerson making a run forward against a now slightly shell-shocked England. Here's Chiesa. Fired across the face of goal, rather hoping somebody would be on the end of it, and Chiesa's gesture said, well, why wasn't anybody? Bonucci strikes for Italy, the old warrior from Juventus.
Well, while England has been the best team creating chances off set pieces throughout this tournament, it is in the Italian DNA to finish one off in the most important moments. And it came from one of their leaders, Leonardo Bonucci.
What next for England, who do have a habit of letting early leads slip in big games? Happened a few times.
But who's got the superior bench in this game? England. Now, whether or not Gareth Southgate uses it is another question. And that's been the one criticism I think's been fair throughout the entire tournament. Managers are judged on substitutions and tactical switches, as few as they can throughout an entire game. Well, Southgate has some big decisions to be made here.
It's like Italy have had an electric charge from that goal. Bukayo Saka. He's going to be introduced by Gareth Southgate, a little bit unlucky to lose his place in the starting lineup with the tactical switch. I saw a very mature interview with him last night ahead of the game. He said, what do England need in this game? Straight away he said, courage. That's what we need, courage. Off goes Kieran Trippier, who's played his part all right, setting up that early goal. But the mood music is different now, Taylor.
It is, but it's also a tactical switch. Now England will play four in the back. Saka will play as that right winger. Kane through the middle, Sterling off the left, but Mount in the middle with Rice and Phillips.
And here's Kane, who's blatantly blocked, surely, but the referee says play on, which I think is a pretty extraordinary decision. Jorginho clearly impeded him there. Italy showing why they've gone nearly 3 years unbeaten. They do average 2.5 goals a game under Roberto Mancini. They've delivered one when it was needed here too. MLS on ESPN returning next weekend. Atlanta against New England Revolution on Saturday at 5 Eastern. Then on Sunday, Minnesota United against Seattle Sounders at 2 p.m. Eastern. It's on the ESPN app as well, both those games.
I'm just wondering, with this switch now in formation, do you bring in some fresh legs through the middle? Mount has put in a great shift. So has Calvin Phillips. Is this where you turn to the leadership of a Jordan Henderson? You've made the tactical switch to go to four in the back. I just feel like through the middle, Gareth Southgate needs a little bit more freshness.
Here's Kane. When England faced a bit of a mini crisis in the semi against Denmark, they pulled themselves together and came up with an equaliser a few minutes later. Did England invite trouble, Taylor? They were sitting back a lot, weren't they?
Absolutely, and that's the problem with giving up that much space to Italy, and Mancini took it. He made the switch, took off Immobile, who was very predictable. Now they've become unpredictable going forward, and they're more difficult to defend.
There is Jordan Henderson. Read your mind, I think, Taylor.
That's the right move, because the way you played throughout the first 60 minutes, Mason Mount has put in a real shift. And if you're going to chase this game in the momentum, they need some freshness.
Oh, and there's another opportunity with Berardi arriving late on the scene. He couldn't keep it down. Pickford didn't get there. And suddenly, this is a very nervy Wembley among the England supporters, because Italy look a real threat now. defence is Gareth McGuire, not Calvin Phillips or Mason Mount, who goes over to get some fresh instructions. Jordan Henderson, who missed the last 3 or 4 months of the season with a hip injury, which is why he hasn't been a regular starter at these championships, brings his considerable experience and leadership qualities to bear. They may be needed out there by England at the moment. Again, the referee lets the play go on. Phillips dived in with a challenge, but it's Italy controlling that football in these areas now. The ball moving swiftly between those blue shirts. Cristante is looking to drive through the Atalanta player. Inside to Insigne. England rocking a bit at the moment. Chiesa. Oh, Walker to the rescue on that occasion. Here is Saka, still only 19. Both the goals scored by defenders. It is the first time there have been multiple goals by defenders in any Euro or World Cup final. Get it to our very good statistical team for their help with that one. Marco Verratti. Federico Chiesa, they're just starting to find some interesting angles with these passes. Italy now.
They are, but the problem is when they lose possession, as we've seen with Maguire, Stones, and Walker, there's no option for England to play out of that pressure. And that's the successful tactic that got Italy to this European Cup final. They've done a fantastic job in the attacking third immediately when they lose possession, put pressure on you, and then get possession back. And right now, they've completely taken the momentum away from England. I mean, how many times have you said Harry Kane or Raheem Sterling's name in the last 10 minutes here?
Yeah, that underlines the point. Italy are in control of this at the moment. Can they turn what was a 1-goal deficit into a 1-goal lead? England are being made to suffer. Jorginho, no pressure on the ball at all. England at the moment having to grin and bear it. I'm not sure they're even grinning. Chiellini to Emerson. This is an entirely different chapter of the football match. Yes, just let that slip away from him. Here's Kane, who were mob-handed in trying to nudge him off the ball. Now Maguire picks it up. He's lost out though. And then eventually the referee did blow his whistle. I thought he wasn't going to. He had to think about that one.
Well, there was a little delay to him blowing the whistle. What's very interesting, when Jordan Henderson came onto the field, and immediately Mason Mount turned and started to move to the bench as if he was coming out. So you wonder if there was a little bit of a misunderstanding with Declan Rice maybe being injured, but right now, both Mount and Phillips are struggling to have an impact in this game.
Here's Maguire. It's definitely caught, wasn't he? It's going to be a free kick. You might call it collective neurosis. Saka taken out of it by Verratti.
Verratti's a little lucky here to get away without a yellow. Kyle Walker's having a word with the referee about it, and I agree with him.
I think it's good to let a fair bit go. Maybe he's let a little too much go tonight at times. Because the players will always push the edge, won't they? They'll always push the boundaries. This is now a rare foray forward by England. Shaw to play it in there. Maguire's out of position. This is picked up by Verratti. Can they get the break going? Yes, they can, because here's Chiesa. In the end, the door was slammed. But his direct running and speed is unsettling the England defence. Now he's writhing around on the ground, holding his face.
But how good is Kyle Walker's defending? And so much of it is that he has the pace to recover even when he is beat with that touch. As good as Maguire, Stones, and Shaw have been, I could make a real good argument that Kyle Walker's the most important defender for England because he covers up so many difficult spots with that pace to recover.
Chiesa found time for a conversation with Calvin Phillips about that in the middle of it all. He does speak good English. Cristante is arguing a point here with the coach.
And this is that goal. It was the near post run from Cristante to flick it onto the back post. And in these moments, these critical moments, you need luck on your side for that ball to hit the inside of the post and bounce right to Bonucci.
Big goal. He knows it from a big game player. First on the scene to congratulate him, his mate Giorgio Chiellini, not content with playing alongside each other all season. Apparently they're going on holiday together on Wednesday with their families. So just the 2-day break. Fly home tomorrow, meet up on Wednesday. Luke Shaw's goal seems a long time ago. Now England with plenty to ponder, facing problems in this game and really needing to find some answers, and quickly. There's Sir Geoff Hurst, as he now is, the scorer of that England hat-trick against what was then West Germany in 1966. Chiesa looking a bit the worse for wear, and Italy need him fit and firing because he's been a real thorn in England's side in this game. Bernardeschi is going to come on to replace him here, so I think we've seen the end of Federico Chiesa. That's a bit of a blow for Italy, isn't it, Taylor?
That's a massive blow. Because this game turned on its head when all three players for Italy can break you down 1-1. They're very good, dynamic players in good spots. Insigne playing in that false nine role. So if Chiesa has to come out of here, that is a huge blow to this Italian attack.
Bernardeschi has come on. Didn't get a single Serie A goal this last season for Juventus. The goals have rather dried up for him. They'll be thinking now's a pretty good time to get one. Shaw for England, trying to get their mojo back in the game with Mount. Shaw, Mount again to cut it back, bounced off Sarri, couldn't quite bring it under control. Italy grateful to just hack that one away. John Stones. Kearse has come back on. It can be quite hard to keep up with all the musical chairs in the second half of these games. With 5 substitutes allowed, and referee shows another yellow card there to Insigne.
At some point, persistent infringement has to play a factor in this game. As big of a game as it is, the referee has to gain control of the game here.
Otherwise, the players will take liberties, thinking, well, he'll let that skip, he'll let that run. This time, the card has been produced. It's Insigne. Barrella's gone off. Bonucci in the book for Italy. Shaping up to be another long night at Wembley. Out to play it in there towards Maguire. Shaw fancies it now, doesn't he? There is this change. Kearse did come back, and now he will be replaced by Federico Bernardeschi. Bernardeschi did have a start against Wales when Mancini made several changes to rest key players. He's a live wire. For certain, his loan with Juventus is very likely to turn into a transfer which will make him the most expensive Italian player. Emerson. Verratti, England looking to make more of a fight of him in that midfield because Italy had taken over in there for a while. Italian goal was a scrambled affair, they won't care about that. Trying to lift the players with the umpteenth rendition of Football's Coming Home, and the players being stopped just for the moment with somebody trying to make a bit of a spectacle of themselves. Outside, it seemed to me several of the fans were slightly the worse for wear before they even got into Wembley tonight. And the young man concerned who's causing the problem, and of course the TV cameras will not give him the oxygen of publicity by showing him as eventually being caught. You wonder what's next here, don't you? The way this game is twisted and turned. Here's Maguire. Stones ball forward. Remember, no Phil Foden is an option for England. He's got a minor foot injury, but it's enough to prevent him from being considered for this game. Shaw down the line towards Sterling. We've got the bounce of the ball there, and he's off running out of defence. It's quite a run here from Sterling. Look at all those blue shirts around him. That's gone out of play. It'll be a goal kick.
That's really the first opportunity tonight that we've seen Sterling get a little momentum and find some space 1v1 with Bonucci. You know, Southgate set up this team, the early goal, and that defensive structure, and Sterling and Mount have just done a real good job of tucking in, but it's really limited their impact in the final third. Because if anything, with Chiellini and Bonucci, and you would want Sterling running off of Kane the way we saw it against Denmark and trying to use his pace to get in behind.
It's England taking a pretty cautious, conservative approach to the second half. Basically sending out a message, what we have, we hold, but they didn't hold it. Now they've got to go out and try and win the game again. As Phillips lays it wide, here is Raheem Sterling. Italy won it back and can now break with Bernardeschi. It's a different Italian attack now. Time for Insigne. 90 minutes are up into stoppage time. Looks like another big final at Wembley, heading for extra time, as the 1966 World Cup final did, and the 1996 Euro final here, which was eventually won by the old golden goal for Oliver Bierhoff for Germany. It's 5 minutes of added time, or 6 is it? 6.
Against a tired back line, this is where the value of Sterling and that pace and the relentless pressure he puts on you can be a huge factor.
Now, there will be some tired legs and minds out there now at the end of what's been a long month. 7th game for these two teams. Late England free kick. Maguire won the header. Stones is up there with him. Italy get the free kick as Marco Verratti goes down. Italy have shown that old tournament experience that we've seen so often in the past. Not perhaps quite so much in more recent years. They've kind of messed up in their last 3 World Cup campaigns, not even qualifying for the last finals in Russia. After that, in came Mancini and everything looked right again. Cristante, no real target man in there. Insigne's only a little, but he's pretty strong. Walker won it in the end. Henderson's ball. Can't find Saka. No nonsense again from Chiellini, who's approaching his 37th birthday. What a player, what a character he's been. Which the backhander might have caused a problem, but Donnarumma was there. Sterling was making headway in that direction. Jorginho finding Emerson. Verratti. Nucci to spread the play. Stoppage time ticking away. Still about 3 minutes left of it. Is there one last chance left in this? Maybe Italy are quite content to go the long route. They did have one extra day's rest between the semi and final. England's came a day later. Verratti. By Saka, Henderson onto towards Kane. Quickly Italy regained possession, and that's been the story of the second half in the main. And probably need to huddle around Gareth Southgate and have another think about things. This is almost like the Nobel Peace Prize at the moment, isn't it? To be handed out. Both teams appearing to just settle for the extra time, unless here's Berardi and Cristante. Now they've changed the tempo of the attack, and Walker, coolly done from him again. Pickford has spotted Mount's run. Good idea. Jorginho's ball in behind again. Cristante has made a run there.
He's made a run, but how Calvin Phillips having great awareness there because Cristante was in behind.
How much is left in the tank for these two teams with extra time looming?
There isn't, but at some point Southgate is going to have to use the bench to his advantage. Was pretty unceremonious from Chiellini. Yeah, but the question is, that ball actually hits the arm of Saka right here. That ball hits the left arm of Saka. Right in front of the assistant referee, misses that. And the referee sees the yellow, rightfully so, from Chiellini.
So because it handball, it's before the offence, isn't it? But they haven't called the handball, they've just called the free kick. And Chiellini does go into the book. Phillips drives it towards Harry Maguire, who doesn't win this. Italy have shown great resilience, and this is going to extra time now. First half belonged to England. Early goal from Luke Shaw. Seems an age ago now, but Leonardo Bonucci was there on the spot with that equaliser. Stand by for extra time on what could be a very dramatic night here at Wembley. We'll be back for that.
Whoa. Hey, Scotty, this is Hooch.
What are you talking about?
Nobody cares about doing the job more than you do. I can't take care of him. I'm still trying to prove myself. Stop! You want
I think Hooch sees something that we don't.
Didn't see that coming. Great job. Get the dog out of here.
Turner and Hooch. Original series streaming July 21st. Only on Disney+.
That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April. You're shot down in May.
Okay, we're not going to ask for discounts on floor models, demos, or displays. Shopping malls can be a big trigger for young homeowners turning into their parents.
You ever think about the storage operation a place like this must rely on?
No.
They just sell candles and they're making overhead. You know what kind of fish those are?
No.
Don't be coy. Koi fish.
It can be overwhelming. Think a second. Have we seen this shirt before?
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto with us.
But you know what? I'm still going to get it.
Long hair goals? Save that last inch. Elvive Dream Lengths with a cocktail of vitamins and fine castor oil strengthens hair's length and helps seal split ends. Now with more complete long hair care. Elvive Dream Lengths from L'Oreal Paris. You're worth it.
Another one.
Throws it down. It's a dynamic duel in the backcourt of Book and Chris Paul. Phoenix Suns are now 2 wins away from their first NBA championship.
Sit down. Be thankful.
Suns Bucks tonight.
You need an Ecolab Scientific Clean here. And you need it here. And here. And here. Which is why the scientific expertise that helps operating rooms stay clean is now helping the places you go every day too. Seek a commitment to clean. Look for the Ecolab Science Certified seal.
In your town, on your street, the wait is over.
Guys, we're on. Right now.
The big screen is back.
Tell me you're not thinking what I think you're thinking.
The movies, the way you've always loved them, is the way to see them again.
Lily, I'm ready if you are.
Just when Italy thought that perhaps it would be 1-0, celebration erupted in Rome as Italy has forced extra time with the second half goal. Really, they control play in the second half. Will that extend into the extra time? We stay with Steve McManaman and Alessandro Del Piero here. What do you expect in this next 30 minutes?
Well, England have changed shape. They're going to fall at the back now, so they're going to go forward a little bit more. Maybe utilise the substitutions. I think Italy have lost Chiesa, who's arguably been the best player in the game, and that may help England. Let's hope.
Yeah, physically it will be much more stronger England. Italy needs to stay narrow and compact. It doesn't matter where, part of the field, narrow and compact is so important for Italy, and without Chiesa it will be tough to have opportunity in front.
7th Euro final to go to extra time, and the second in a row. It's the 8th time it's happened in this tournament. That is a record. To get things started, Ian Darke and Taylor Twellman. Ian?
Thank you very much indeed, fellas. Here we go again. Extra time. Another change for Italy as they bring on Andrea Belotti, the Torino top scorer for Torino. That will be the 4th Italian change. We'll wait to see who it is who's making way.
It's for Insigne.
He was one of those on a yellow card as well. So on comes Belotti, largely used from the bench in this tournament. How do England play it, I wonder? They won it in extra time the other night against Denmark, albeit in somewhat controversial fashion. Straight away, Stones was closed down there by Verratti, who waves all the other blue-shirted players forward. Through 75 minutes, touches in the attacking third, read 81 to Italy and 21 to England in that second half. This just tells the story of how the game swung. Italian lost in the Wimbledon men's singles final today. Matteo Berrettini against the great Novak Djokovic. Italy trying to change the nation's sporting fortunes on the day here. Bernardeschi. Just a hammer in a cross. England have a player down, Jordan Henderson, on the far side, and a Taking a knock to the face as well here. Ooh, blocked off by Emerson, wasn't he?
Yeah, Emerson knew exactly what he was doing. Similar to Rudiger versus De Bruyne in the Champions League final.
Not with the same nasty consequences by the
absolutely
look at there, because Kevin De Bruyne fractured an eye socket, didn't he, among other injuries there. Some rather worried England supporters now. They've seen just why Italy are so highly rated. Belotti, Cristante, and chip on him behind. There's a blow there to Harry Maguire. Berardi apologises. Towards Saka. Look at all the pressure on the ball from Italy. It's almost manic sometimes, their press. Hard to deal with.
It is, but it's too reactive from England. Good spot here from Mason Mount.
Shaw joining the attack. England now kicking the way they were in the first half, where they took the lead and looked bright. Question whether they can pick up the pieces. Federico Evani, you saw him there, he's been rather unkindly called a Groucho Marx look-alike. Former Milan player. Just going through the book on the substitution.
So much of the conversation coming into this cup final is whether or not the pressure would be inspiring or suffocating for England. And listen, I get it. It's a cup final. You'll take a goal whenever you can. But it's almost as if, Ian, that the second-minute goal from Luke Shaw forced England to just sit in. And now all of a sudden that Italy's brought the game to them, taking the game by the scruff of the neck. Now it's almost as if England can't get going.
Yeah, they're trying to pick up the pieces, I think. Bonucci. Lots of those long balls, Bonucci. Here's another of them trying to pick up the run of Berardi. Italy, remember, did beat England in a penalty shootout in Euro 2012. Memory of that is that cheeky Panenka penalty from Andrea Pirlo. And look at Bradley Henderson to Sterling. Possibilities, couldn't get the cross right. Great covering, Chiellini.
There are times where you need to pinch yourself and make sure that Chiellini is still 36 and not 26. Look at this recovery. Bad turnover in the middle and then great recovery from Chiellini.
Look at that, and they celebrate every piece of defensive work as if it's a party. Fist pumps. Off comes Marco Verratti to replace in midfield. Just a fresh pair of legs. Manuel Locatelli will come on, and that's 5 substitutes by Italy. They are allowed another one, of course, because of the extra time. Only a couple from England so far. No sign of Jack Grealish or Marcus Rashford. And Shaw plays this ball in. Phillips, who can hit them! And it was screaming just wide, with Donnarumma a little worried about where that was ending up.
Calvin Phillips has been fantastic in this tournament. Off the ball, just box-to-box work, putting out fires, covering Declan Rice in the back four of England. And yet he's had a couple moments in the attack. Remember the opening goal against Croatia, fantastic ball to Sterling. Good hit there on top of the 18.
Phillips, who hadn't even played in the Premier League this time last year. Man of the match in the opening game that England had here against Croatia, and has started every game. She chips it up towards Bernardeschi. There's Kane. Henderson did well, and then not so well. First bit was good. The second, he was trying to just drift a pass off the outside of the boot and went ski whiff. Another change coming up here for England. I wonder whether we might get a whole cascade of them. But here's Di Lorenzo. Made by Maguire, who seemed to be caught late there after he cleared the ball. It's another one the referee's just let go. Belotti made his presence felt. There's Jack Grealish. Fan favourite, and had the slight humiliation the other night of being a substitute who was substituted, but was in the tactical cause of holding on to the lead, so I think he kind of understood. And Gareth Southgate's view was, well, too bad if he didn't, really. Inside by Berardi. Belotti turns, lines up a shot, and Pickford will be able to prevent that from going for a corner.
But I go back to the final, you and I in Paris 5 years ago, and who ended up being the difference? Adair coming off the bench. Which manager pushes the right button in this extra time to try and win the game? And I think many England fans around the world will say this player right here could be the difference maker.
I think they wanted to see more of him in this tournament, but Gareth Southgate's got most of his calls right so far. He's got England to the final. Off comes Mason Mount of Chelsea, and on comes Jack Grealish, still off Aston Villa for the moment. There are likely to be bids for him this summer, most likely from Manchester City, we understand. But that, as they say, is another story for another time. Can he, as Taylor's just said, be a difference maker now? Maguire measured that just about right to Luke Shaw. There didn't really look room. Deflection on the cross. Kane went in for it. It's fallen to Calvin Phillips again. Play on, says the referee. Saka. Shaw. And England look like they want to be on the front foot again here in this first period of extra time. Their energy levels looked very good in the Denmark game.
I'd argue the opposite tonight, wouldn't you?
Yes, it's Italy who've come on strong in the game. Understandably, that Italian equaliser maybe just knocked a little bit of the belief out of England. I think they backed themselves to keep yet another clean sheet and take the title, but who said it was going to be easy? Shaw. Now Grealish. His first chance to impress. Saka couldn't quite latch on and take advantage.
Yeah, but Grealish has a unique skill set that very few players on this English side have. And so it's important when he gets in those dangerous spots that he's got runners in and around him, but also that he's picking up his head and not holding on to the ball too long. He's going to get into some dangerous spots here.
Italy will know, though, won't they, that he is the most fouled player in the Premier League, and they'll be careful not to just leave a foot dangling and give the referee a decision to make. Life really will go full circle for Gareth Southgate if it comes to penalties. Here's Harry Maguire. Just as well, really, that a lot of the schools have said to the children, you can come in late tomorrow morning so you can stay up and watch the game, because it is getting late. It's 10:15 and we could be going on here to, well, best part of another 3/4 of an hour. It goes to penalties. Only one European Championship final has gone to the penalty shootout, 1976, won by Czechoslovakia, the famous Panenka penalty. And here come Italy now, driven across the face of goal. Bernardeschi was in there, and it's gone out of play in the end as Italy threatened there.
Well, I think this should be a corner for Italy, but this is fantastic goalkeeper from Jordan Pickford. Kyle Walker unlucky that ball falls to the feet of Emerson, but he feels the pressure of Bernardeschi on this near post, and Pickford's got to be committed, come off his line. That's good goalkeeping.
Close run for him, might have come off Grealish last. Belotti certainly thought so. Goal kick is the decision. Look at that from Bonucci. Times back there, he's looked pretty imperious.
It's a remarkable story, isn't it? Because 12 months ago, I'm not sure we're talking about Bonucci and Chiellini. Chiellini's only played 21 games over the last 2 years for his club. Bonucci had COVID, injuries, the form dipped, and yet when major tournaments come around, you tell me two center backs you would rather have over those two.
I don't think anybody would be swapping them. Still looking for Locatelli, goal-scoring midfielder in this tournament anyway, and here he is, Locatelli, twice blocked. First by Maguire, then by Phillips. Jorginho wanted more time and he didn't get the ball, says the referee. The anxiety is tangible, a minute to be added in the first period of extra time. Good ball that from Di Lorenzo. Locatelli across the face of goal, and Maguire got his feet sorted out quite nicely.
It's been those penetrating runs through the middle of the field that has really opened up the game for Italy in the second half to get back into this, and even a little bit of extra time. We've seen Cristante, we've now seen Locatelli make those runs, and so it's dragging Phillips out of position, and then when Italy wins it, then that pocket of space right in front of Stones and Maguire is a dangerous one right now for Italy going forward.
Ball by Henderson towards Jack Grealish. And they want to get the ball to Grealish's feet. We can have a run at the defence. This time the decision goes against Italy. Yep. Handball, Locatelli. Put his arm in the air, that's why that was given. This is likely to be the last action of the first half of extra time. Luke Shaw to take for England. Likely to be a threat. The whistle has gone anyway. And that's the end of the first period of extra time. It remains 1-1, 15 minutes away from Euro 2020 being decided by a penalty shootout. Well, I think for some people around both countries, England and Italy, it will have proved pretty hard to watch. It might get a lot harder to watch still now. At the end of this month-long feast of football, it's a miracle really it's happened at all across 11 cities in the middle of a pandemic, but it has, and it's ending up with a three-quarters full Wembley for this final. A lot of those fans thought after 2 minutes of the game they were watching an England glory night. Now they're not so sure, but it looks like everyone's pretty determined to enjoy it anyway. Crowd officially is given as a little over 67,000.
They missed that mark by about 5,000, Ian.
Yeah, that's the figure we're given anyway, but looking around here, I don't see a lot of empty seats, do you?
No. And hasn't it been such a fitting tournament to come out of that 18 months of a pandemic where you've just seen one of the best tournaments this continent has ever seen? And quite honestly, we've gotten that in this final. Has it been the most exciting and free-flowing game as we see Marcus Rashford look like he's coming in? No, it hasn't. But it's been drama-filled, and it's been exactly what this continent needs to get themselves out of the pandemic and back to normal life.
Well, here's hoping on that front. Certainly been a carnival of a diversion on this occasion. It's going to the wire. Italy in this, well, final reel of the film, so to speak. Cristante. Bonucci's ball induced a free kick. Italy will have one, what is that, about 30 yards out.
Well, and it's a yellow card too, because Belotti's done a good job since coming into this game of forcing either Maguire or Stones to follow him into that little pocket of space, and that's exactly where Maguire and Stones don't want to be. Dangerous set piece here for Italy, but now Maguire on a yellow. Good little run from Belotti.
It's a long way out. Bernardeschi is the player who's hovering over it and wants to give this a thump. You want to feel at this stage, why not buy the lottery ticket? Bonucci's there alongside him, mind you. Another hold your breath moment. It's hit and it's dropped by Pickford, but he gathers it at the second attempt. A very relieved Jordan Pickford.
And it's hit well, but there's numbers in front of Jordan Pickford.
Take on towards Sterling. The ageless Chiellini is there again. Certainly the England fans trying to do their bit. Trying to lift England over the line to become European champions for the very first time. Walker's long throw in. Maguire got something in on that. Grealish's shot was charged down. Then it falls to Saka. Now Kane. Stones went in, but couldn't quite get there. Donnarumma. His fist just about got there first, and that was vital. Ball having to be quarried virtually there, and the referee saw no offence in any of that. And here come Italy with Locatelli. Belotti is in behind here and doesn't get the cross right. Shaw was the player in the right place at the right time. The flag was up anyway, so that was a false alarm.
But England got away with one a little bit here because the ball comes in here and just out of the reach of Maguire, but then Berardi was wide open because Luke Shaw had pushed forward. He started to cramp up, so he couldn't recover. Bonucci couldn't see him. But good spot from Donnarumma coming off his line.
That almost looked as if John Stones had longer hair. He might have got that. Saw Marcus Rashford being prepared for action, didn't we? I think they'll want him out there for the shootout because he would certainly be an allotted penalty taker. Henderson maybe unlikely to take one. His record not so hot from the spot. Thoughts to rather drift in that direction, but there may be more drama to come yet by more conventional means. Phillips. Chance here for somebody to really put their name up in lights with a winner in the final. Walker. He's Shaw. Grealish wants it and gets it. He's well found. On another of those runs. Sterling's gone for the 1-2 here. Skips around the back and brilliant defending again by Chiellini. How good is that man? That was exactly the kind of run Sterling made that led to the penalty in the Denmark game. Grealish dancing through, finds Shaw, and then there's a misunderstanding between the three England players. Wembley at fever pitch with every England attack. Walker. It's Italy sitting in now. For a moment anyway. Shaw for England. Walker. Henderson. Kane. Good ball, Sterling. He's got it lost under his feet a little bit. And now what a free kick here. And the physios are going to be waved on.
Well, the question is whether or not Jorginho shows his studs into Grealish, because Grealish leaves his feet before Jorginho can get to that ball, because immediately the referee blew his whistle and then asked the medical personnel to come onto the field. And from our perspective, where you and I are sitting, we couldn't see that, but as Grealish leaves his feet here, Jorginho comes in, and I think he shows his studs. Absolutely. That is right in front of the referee.
And then afterwards, the momentum takes those studs into a very painful area for Jack Grealish. Mark Klamberg was looking at that, I'm sure. Mark, what did you think?
What happens here is as Jorginho comes into the challenge, he actually puts his foot on the ball, so it's a step in action. He's not sliding in with pace. It's not malice. And actually, when his foot hits the ball, it ricochets off onto Jack Grealish's thigh, and that's what actually happens. It's not a bad challenge. It's more of a step in motion. And the VAR will not intervene in this case.
Is it a yellow for you, Mark?
It's a very difficult one. Jorginho wants to play the ball, and it's just that moment when he hits the foot hits the ball, it actually ricochets off, and therefore there's absolutely no pace in it. So, if the referee wants to give a yellow card, it's certainly not a red card.
Thank you, Mark. Mark Klamberg, who refereed the last European Championship final when the team at home, France, were beaten by Portugal in extra time. The last host nation, it's not an official host nation, of course, this time, but the last host nation to win were France, way back in 1984, when Michel Platini was banging in a hatful of goals. Both players okay, no card, as Mark was indicating. There was one in the end.
Yeah, he ended up giving Jorginho a yellow card.
Good spot, thank you, Taylor. Phillips takes the resultant free kick, and Donnarumma says that's mine. Keep on producing great goalkeepers, don't they? Italy, Dino, Zoff and Buffon. And now this fella who was capped when he was 17.
Yeah, but it was this tournament, I think, that is the defining moment that Donnarumma can take the baton from Gigi Buffon and carry it as long as he wants to. Couple fantastic saves in the lead up to this final.
He's on his way to Paris Saint-Germain. Good signing for them.
Who is it?
Can't win the Champions League though, can they? Bernardeschi to pick it up and play to Emerson, who's obviously rated higher by Roberto Mancini than he is by his manager at Chelsea, Thomas Tuchel. There's Cristante. Cristante again as the clock ticks round to 116 minutes and the penalty shootout looms larger and larger. Emerson to play this in. Bernardeschi turning and twisting and claiming a handball there of the game. The referee shows almost no interest.
Yeah, but it's also a great example of how good this officiating is and how it needs to be. This goes back to the Sterling penalty call against Denmark. With now VAR in the equation, why blow a whistle on the magnitude of this game when you know video review can protect you if it's clear and obvious?
Good point. That time the referee was perfectly happy, and Stone's hands did seem down by their side as Kane wins the header, tries to get it onto Grealish. Here's Bukayo Saka. Good determined run from him. Goal kick.
You see Italy making a sub here, but in the background you're seeing Southgate and his staff have conversations. So now it begs the question, when do you make subs with penalties in mind? There's absolutely no reason to go into penalties without using your subs in the spots where you can bring on an attacking player or a player more comfortable taking a penalty in this final. And that's exactly why I think you're seeing Rashford and Sancho come into this.
Yeah, it's definitely the thinking there. And Alessandro Florenzi, who we haven't seen since the opening game when he was injured, presumably he's being lined up to hit one of them as well. And we'll let that go out of play, and we'll need to make the substitution really now, but I'm in a hurry to take it. It's Maguire. Saka operating on the left-hand side now, but misunderstanding between him and Shaw. And they need to get on with it if they're going to get those two players on the pitch in time. Sancho and Rashford, who both take penalties, but England had a chance to make the substitution and took a quick throw in, certainly over this side with Walker. There's Florenzi, who's come out to the left-hand side for his brief cameo, which is all it can be now. Jorginho, he's definitely going to be taking one. Chiellini. Florenzi, and it does go behind for the corner kick. And here come those England substitutions, which have become a bit of a matter of urgency, really.
And it's also at the worst time. The last thing you want to do is make a substitution defending a set piece, but on the other hand, you can't risk time being wasted here and not being able to get Rashford and Sancho on.
Yeah, they have to make the switch. Off comes Henderson, who definitely wouldn't have taken one. This one in one of the prep games when he wasn't supposed to even take it. Rashford on. Not seen that much action in these Euros, but he might have a pretty big part to play. Kyle Walker comes off, and then comes Jadon Sancho. Did have that start in Rome, and they went to the Stadio Olimpico to play Ukraine. But now they've got a corner to defend. As Taylor said, in not ideal circumstances, having made those two subs. Bernardeschi to play it on. It's flicked on. Belotti can keep it alive as well. Calvin Phillips is there to hack it away for England, and we are past 120 minutes. Now there's going to be 3 minutes of added time in this second period of extra time. Taylor, you and I thought this was going to be a long night from the word go.
I mean, get the ball to Bernardeschi here, one-on-one, and isolate Marcus Rashford. Good defended. I mean, what a difficult spot this is as an attacking player to come in. Plays a right back.
New career beckoning for Marcus Rashford at right back. He's risky, but it's only for a few seconds, which is probably just as well. No, they've seen one penalty shootout, which they've prevailed in already this week. Looks like we're going to have another, unless... worked that well. Seemed impossible to get the ball out of there, but they did, Italy, and they might just be able to launch this forward one last time. Di Lorenzo into Cristante. Florenzi. Great recovery from a very bad start. Very shaky start tonight from Italy. You have to say that. Shown enormous resilience, and that won't be a problem that time. And I just wonder, I think that might be just about that, as the clock says 122 minutes and 16 seconds and counting. Italy have won 3 and lost 3 penalty shootouts in European Championship history. England have only won 1 in this competition. That was against Spain. Steve McManaman will remember that in 1996 in the quarter-final against 3 losses. Saka. That is it. For only the second time in the history of the European Championship, the trophy will be decided by a penalty shootout for the first time, in fact, since 1976. And already England's preparations, which have been very thorough for this exact situation, are underway. It'll be the same for Italy as well. They couldn't be separated over 2 hours of football. 1-1 it is. Penalties will decide it. Back to Reece and the guys in the studio for just a moment.
Ian, thank you very much. Steve McManaman, Alessandro Del Piero here with me. So, Alessandro, approach, strategy, mindset when you go into penalty kicks in this magnitude of stage.
You prepare everything the day before, weeks before, and then you need to find the strength and the relaxed mentality and emotional situation to do exactly what you used to do in the training. But you know, this is different because this is the final. It's a little bit more heavy, the ball. It's a little bit more important. You know, everything can happen at this moment.
And you don't know whether one team are favourites. Yes, we saw Italy beat Spain on penalties. Are the penalty takers going to all go the same way that they did in the previous game? If that's the case, Jordan Pickford will know where they're going to put the ball. Donnarumma is certainly a much bigger, imposing goalkeeper than Jordan Pickford is. And as Alessandro said, who's got the mental strength when the pressure is on your shoulders to smash one in the back of the net?
Italy's trying to become the first side to win multiple shootouts in a single Euro after beating Spain, as Macca mentioned. Occasionally, having a conversation with Tim Howard a week or two ago and said oftentimes you choose your shooters based on who can live with missing.
Yeah, I think so. I think, yes, in a perfect world, you step up and you go to whatever side you want, your favourite side. But the goalkeepers know what your favourite side is now. They've done their homework. It's just all about maybe just putting your foot through as hard as you can, kick it and smash it in the back of the net. Is Jorginho going to take a penalty like he did against Spain the other day? You know, with that little skip and he just rolls it in. Has he got the mental strength to be able to do that on an occasion? So loads and loads of different questions to be answered now.
And the most important thing for a coach is that the players want to shoot.
Want to take it.
Because sometimes it happens that some players don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. They feel too much pressure. They don't feel ready to do that in that specific moment. So they maybe say, coach, I'm out.
What about you?
Well,
I
was always ready to take off. I always did it. Yeah. I mean, I want to make my future on my way.
Yeah.
In good or bad way.
But you've got Gareth Southgate, who's famous for missing a penalty. Yeah. So of course this could be his sort of redemption over if they win.
What about you?
I would have taken one if asked. Yeah, I was no problem. I just wasn't asked.
We'll see who's asked and who comes through right now here.
Well, they'll be tossing the coin to see which end the shootout will take place at. I think Italy would prefer it up at that to the left, where all the Italian fans are gathered. This is quite important, I think. So Italy have won it. Let's see. some confusion. Now they have another toss of the coin to say who's going to take them first. The statistics say there is a bias in favour of the team taking the first penalty because the second team are always playing catch-up, as long as they convert it, of course. So it is going to be at the end where the England supporters are gathered, and obviously a huge part in the drama, the two goalkeepers, Gianluigi Donnarumma for Italy and Jordan Pickford for England. England, of course, notoriously had a huge jinx in big tournament penalty shootouts until the World Cup in Russia when they won one against Colombia. They followed that by winning another shootout on a less high-pressure occasion in the third, fourth place game of the Nations League against Switzerland. And England's policy is to put their best takers first. Jordan Pickford on that occasion of the Colombia one had a lot of instructions written on his water bottle. You've probably read about that. But you can bet your bottom dollar that Italy are prepared just as long and hard for every eventuality. It's going to be Berardi to take the first penalty on the shootout.
He took 6 penalties in 2021, all at the club level. The only one he missed was down the middle to the goalkeeper's left.
Domenico Berardi. They missed their first one the other night, taken by Locatelli. Looks like he's off duty for it. Berardi. No problem. Italy go one up.
It's all just about having the composure, calming your heart rate, and understanding that any kind of movement from the goalkeeper, you go the other way. Good penalty from Berardi.
Harry Kane, England's regular penalty taker. Of course, that goes down as a miss the other night against Denmark because he scored on the rebound. If that happened here, he wouldn't be allowed to score on the rebound, just to underline that point. Brilliant penalty from Kane. 1-1.
Talk about having some stones in this moment. You saw him take 2 deep breaths to make sure he was in charge of the moment. Gareth Southgate and about 75,000 in this stadium loving the first penalty from Harry Kane.
Next is Belotti. Penalty record, 30 converted out of 39, according to our statisticians. Jordan Pickford, who just goes through a few little theatrics first, jumping down on the line, seeing if he can make a difference. It's a great save from Pickford. It's a brilliant save from Pickford. Belotti is denied. For the moment, advantage England.
Well, Pickford doing a good job of just waiting to that last second when you can get any kind of indicator as Belotti opens his hips. What a huge save for Jordan Pickford.
Now it's Harry Maguire, who did score in that shootout against Switzerland I was telling you about, to put England ahead. He got a little pep talk. That's part of England's ritual from Jordan Pickford beforehand. Into the roof of the net. England 2-1 up after 2.
Harry Maguire's had himself some tournament. 6 weeks to recover from an ankle injury. And how about finish.
I don't think there's a goalkeeper in the universe who could have kept that out. That was travelling like a tracer bullet. Now then, Bonucci already an Italian hero tonight. He scored in the last shootout the other night against Spain.
Remember in 2016 against Germany, he went low to his right, the goalkeeper's left.
Oh, it's a magnificent penalty. Nail-biting, nerve-shredding stuff. Marcus Rashford is next. Scored in that World Cup one against Colombia.
And against Romania in the lead-up to this tournament, he went down the middle to the goalkeeper's left.
Donnarumma might know that. Oh! Donnarumma makes the stop and puts Italy back in business. 2-2 after 3.
Well, you can almost see the thoughts into the head of Marcus Rashford. He's looking right at Donnarumma, looking for any kind of movement. And Donnarumma did a good job of just stalling Rashford a little bit. He tried to be too perfect off the outside of the post.
Bernardeschi is next. No player who scored in this slot the other night against Spain. And scores here as well to put Italy ahead for the moment.
Good penalty here from Bernardeschi. Opens the hips, Pickford dives. Calm, cool, and collected.
Jadon Sancho of Borussia Dortmund, brought on specially to take a penalty. And Donnarumma saves again. Italy are nearly there.
And both subs in the last minute of extra time, Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, both missed their penalties.
Is England's penalty hoodoo about to strike again? Jorginho won it the other night. He can do it again here and take the European Championship to Italy and foil England.
And you know Jordan Pickford's done his homework. You know he has a good understanding that there's a little hop before Jorginho takes it. And when he goes to the goalkeeper's left, it's always on the ground. But if he goes to the goalkeeper's right, he clips it a little bit in the air. You know Jordan Pickford's done his homework.
He scored 8, missed 3 this season. Jorginho to win the European title for Italy. And Pickford saves! Can you believe it? That is as loud a roar as I've ever heard at Wembley. Jorginho had the prize in his grasp. Pickford, brilliant.
It's just fantastic homework from Jordan Pickford, knowing exactly the tendency of where Jorginho wants to do, get you off balance. He guesses the right way. What a huge save.
And now it's the teenager, Bukayo Saka, one of the youngest players ever to play in the European Championship. He's got to score here to keep England alive. And he doesn't! And Italy anything more dramatic than that? Saka is in tears, and England fans have their hearts broken. But you have to hand it to Italy on the night. The way they bounced back from the early adversity. They've been so watchable throughout the tournament. Pickford couldn't have done any more. He really couldn't have done. But it's Italy who will fly home to Rome with the championship. Football's coming Rome.
What a historical game. 3 minutes left in my podcast. I'm going to do a rundown of all my comments and then get you back to the announcers for the remaining time on this 3-hour podcast. Fastest goal ever in the Euro Championship. England got the first point in 1 minute and 56 seconds into the game. There was a foul a little later on that wasn't called. Actually, a foul against England, but it wasn't called because England got the point. And it began obviously raining. Of course, it was raining before, but it rained the whole game. 34 minutes and 35 seconds into the game, Italy finally had their shot and missed their first real chance. England scored first within the first 1 minute and 56 seconds of the game. Fastest point ever in Euro Championship history. Aside from England's first point, both teams are having a hard time on their offense, and seems Italy has better defense. They're both spending more time behind than forward, and at the time I was on the edge of my seat biting my nails. The whole game has been a nail-biter. And just before halftime, Italy's second chance blown, which was actually a little too far from the goal to be of any real chance. And if I heard correctly, England last won the Euro in 1969 and Italy in 1968. And Bonucci just got even with the English guy, Sterling, who tripped up an Italian player just minutes before. About 61 minutes, 30 seconds, and Italy's third real chance close to the goal, blown again, and added their have a misspell kick also after Sterling's foul on Italy. England hasn't really had any real chances still other than their first point, still 1-0 after halftime. This may end in a tie. I was just writing, and Italy has had the ball longer than England, and as I was writing that, 66 minutes into the game, Bonucci scored the first point for Italy. About 86 minutes in, Chiesa on Italy's team doesn't really seem hurt. Maybe he wants someone fresh for the rest of the game. He may be way too tired. That was just my guess. Then, oh man, right before overtime, Chiellini pulled that English player down by the back.